Chapter 2. I ignored the mysterious whisper that had caught me off guard and quickly took a sip of the steaming tea. Very nice, I nodded to Catherine, who still stood near the table as if waiting for my next request. Did you come to Calton Heath for Christmas? Her voice was soothing. Yes. Well, no, not for Christmas. I was trying to find... I'm just visiting, she finished for me. Yes, just visiting. Now that I was inside the tea house, I felt much less intimidated by the reason for my journey than I had when I stood alone outside. With my guard down, I looked up at gentle Catherine and said, "May I ask you a question?" "Certainly." I was trying to find the Calton Heath photography studio on Bexley Lane. I walked up and down both sides of the street as far as I could go, but I didn't find it. Do you know where it is? She shook her head. I have the name printed on the back of a photo. I lifted from my big purse the plastic sandwich bag in which I'd carefully placed the photograph. I handled it cautiously. That single photo was the precious piece of evidence that had driven me here to Calton Heath on a whim after a very long time of indecision. Removing the wallet-sized photo from the clear bag, I turned the picture over, pointing to the name stamped on the paper. Calton Photography Studio, Bexley Lane, Calton Heath. I handed the photo to Catherine carefully. She looked mystified. This is the only Bexley Lane in Calton Heath. I don't know of any photography studios along the road. Perhaps they went out of business. That's what I was afraid of. As she tilted her head, her silver earrings caught the light from the fire. If they were in business here, I'm sure someone around town would know about them. I've only lived in Calton Heath for a few years, so I'm not too helpful when it comes to the comings and goings of the past. My husband would know. She paused before turning over the photo and asked, "Would you mind if I had a look at the picture?" "No, please do. And tell me if you recognize either of the people in the photo. I was hoping someone at the photo studio might have an idea who they were." The image she gazed at was ingrained in my memory. I had stared at the photo so long in my adolescent years that every detail of the two people was familiar, including the nasty, faded green shade of the sweater the little boy was wearing. He appeared to be 4 or maybe 5 years old, and was seated precariously on the lap of a man who was dressed in an odd-looking Santa suit. The boy was wailing, mouth open wide, head tipped back. His short arms were rigid at his side, as if he was being a brave little soldier about the situation, but he wasn't too afraid to let his voice be heard. I knew every line in the face of the man who was playing Santa Claus. His outfit resembled a bohemian-style dressing robe rather than the usual red velvet Santa suit. Nor was his red cap typical Santa attire. Instead, it rose to a point before tipping to the side, and it was trimmed sparingly in black piping rather than the customary wide band of white fleece. The whiteness in the photo was found in the man's long, flowing beard and in his thick eyebrows. He seemed to be trying to keep a straight face, yet his eyes merrily revealed his mirth as well as his age. The exposed laugh lines around his clear blue eyes put him past 50 by my estimation. His large left hand, visible around the boy's middle, displayed a gold ring on the third finger and the edge of a gold watch band around his wrist. "What a charmer," Catherine said as she looked at the photo. A smile grew on her lips. I nodded. The photo couldn't help but bring a smile to any viewer. "Curious," she said, tilting her head. "I believe I've seen this picture before." My heart rose to meet the sip of hot tea I had just swallowed. I put the cup back in the saucer, not completely on target, and kept my eyes fixed on Catherine. "You have? Here in Calton Heath? Do you remember where?" "No, I'm not sure. I do remember the photo was in a frame, though, an ornate frame. It was lovely. I can't quite remember where I saw it." I waited eagerly as she stared again at the photo and pursed her lips. After a full minute, she said,